I got you.
All right, creatures of the night and everybody out there in the Pod Street crew. My name is Alex Doriot. Of course, I am one half of the Talking Taker podcast, and I'm welcoming you back to the Talking Taker YouTube channel for yet another round of Digging Up the Dead Man. And we're going to call this round 3 of What's in the Box? Ooh, let me hide the address there. I don't want to give away the gimmick there for our friend who sent me the box. But yeah, got a special mystery box of items. It's half mystery, half items I requested or purchased from, of course, friend of the show, friend of the podcast, friend of the channel, Stephen Zieman, a.k.a. the host of the Collecting Dead Man podcast at Collect Up Dead on your social media channels there, whatever we're calling them these days. But yeah, I'm in a group chat with him and Randy Turco, all about Undertaker and Undertaker merchandise. And Steven is an incredible collector, you know, worlds more of a collector than Randy or I. Of course, he's trying to get every piece of Undertaker memorabilia he could possibly acquire throughout his lifetime. And so along the way, of course, he acquires many extras, purchasing things in lots or forgetting that he's purchased something or something like that. So he is generous enough to send out me and Randy sort of bi-monthly Steven boxes, that we call them. A little subscription service where Steven sends us some awesome extras that he finds, or maybe if it's a new figure out on the shelf, which one of these is that he was able to pick up for us. Randy and I and Steven are always trying to make sure we all get the latest Undertaker figures, and we'll purchase them for each other if need be. But I have not opened it yet. I have not looked inside. Like I said, I do know a couple of items, but Steven likes to always throw in a few extras and surprise goodies in there. So I'm excited to see those. So I will share those with you. I'm not going to unbox every item because we'll be here forever tonight. But I just wanted to show them off and maybe talk about them a little bit and why I will be adding them to the Talking Taker collection. So let's have a look inside. All right, I have opened the box. The box is now open, and we're going to look inside and examine what could it be. Now, Steven always does an excellent job with packing. He is a professional. He has never given you the old peanut job, but he has always packed things, you know, with a lot of delicate care. You know, he's a true collector. And right off the top, here's the main thing. Here's what originated this Steven box. It is the brand new Mattel Legends Brother Love. I love you. The new figure here. A must for an Undertaker collector, in my opinion. Even if you're not doing something like me, collecting one figure to represent every match in Undertaker's pay-per-view career. But come on, this is the Undertaker's first manager. If you're going to have an Undertaker collection, you got to have a pallbearer. We decided you got to have a Paulie Dangerously as his main mark manager. And you got to have a Brother Love figure. And this is the new release from Mattel. The first, I guess, only the second Brother Love figure ever released. First one in like 20 years. Jakks released one in their Classic Superstar series. But here it is there. I've been tracking the Classic Superstar for a long time to add to my collection. And it was never too crazy, but it was just one of those I always just kept putting off. You know, it was before this one came out, you know, $50-$60 range. So, you know, I always kind of put that one on the back burner. And what I never liked about the Jakks Classic one is that the face on it is just plain white. There's no red tint on that Jakks Classic Brother Love figure, which is kind of, along with the white suit and the red shirt and the white tie, that's kind of Brother Love's whole gimmick, is to, you know, look like this old Southern gospel preacher, revival preacher who's just all red in the face. What is it? I guess kind of like the Bakers from the 80s, Tammy Faye Baker and whatever, Jim Baker, her husband, kind of Jimmy Swaggart, something like that. That's kind of what he's going after here. But yeah, that's kind of the whole gimmick. So how could they not have painted his face red there? Well, Mattel has made up for that and then some. You might say the face is even a little too red there on that Brother Love. I know there's some controversy online, and I'm not sure the pictures online even did it justice. I mean, that is a red-faced Brother Love. You can't complain that there's not enough red there, maybe too much red. But honestly, I mean, this is an incredible figure. I'll just go ahead and open this one here because it's sort of the main reason why I wanted to be here. But God, I hated Brother Love as a kid, which you were supposed to, obviously. But man, anytime I rented a tape, because Brother Love was a little bit before my time, the original Brother Love run. I sort of got into wrestling late 1990, early 91. I guess in 91 is more when I got in. So I saw his run in 96, the very short run. But anyway, anytime I'd rent a tape where there was a Brother Love segment, pay-per-view or a Coliseum home video or something like that, oh, it was torture. Man, I would always fast forward through those because I felt like they were so long, so drawn out, and to me, that the character was so one note. You know, he always did the thing where he would ask, he'd be interviewing some baby face, and he would ask him this big question, stick the mic in their face, and as soon as they would start to talk, he would just pull the microphone away and walk away from them, and eventually the babyface would get so irritated that they'd, beat him up or attack the other heel in the ring or something like that. But God, it always felt like those segments lasted for 30 minutes. They were so irritating to me. But now going back and watching them, I appreciate them. Of course, became a huge fan of the podcast, the Something to Wrestle show with Bruce Pritchard. So I can appreciate this. And boy, this is another home run from Mattel. I've knocked them for some of their releases lately, but gosh, this, if you, I don't know if I say figure of the year because maybe the tint on the face is a little too red, but otherwise they really nailed it. They got that nasty Bruce Pritchard mullet from the 80s, the glasses, the Book of Love included there in the set. It's gonna be tough to display him with that, but the rings on the fingers, those signature white microphone, those boots, I mean, pretty incredible, pretty great likeness, pretty cool to add this. This will go on sort of the top shelf with the early era of Undertaker. You got to put him up there with him to represent, that debut Survivor Series 1990 Undertaker. And I guess this really completes my Survivor Series 1990 collection. This was the one holdout that I had to represent everybody in that match. So I'll have to get all those figures down to represent that iconic match and take a picture of that eventually. Okay, let's keep going through this box. What we got here, another item. Boy, when Stephen sent, he was texting Randy and I, he said he had some extras. And I've been trying to save some money for this big SummerSlam trip I got coming up here to SummerSlam in Detroit, but could not pass this one up. This one has been on my eBay save searches for a while, and again, just never the right price for me. But Steven cut me a Pod Street Crew PSK brother deal here on the WrestleMania 20 Jax Undertaker figure. Now, if you've listened to the show before, Travis and I, we went to WrestleMania 20. We went from Augusta, Georgia to Madison Square Garden when we were seniors in high school. We have a whole episode dedicated to that, telling our story of cutting class, skipping school, pretending to take a college visit to go to New York to go see WrestleMania 20. So it's obviously, I got to have this figure in my collection, even though it's a weird Undertaker figure. They definitely tried to rush this one out to capitalize on WrestleMania 20, but it's like a biker taker figure, but they included the Dead Man hat to, really represent he is the return of the Dead Man at WrestleMania 20. But man, it's got the WrestleMania 20 logo. It's supposed to, kind of look like the New York City skyline up there. I gotta have this one in my collection. It's the greatest moment of my wrestling fandom, of my 30 some odd years being a wrestling fan. This was the peak of it, was getting to go to WrestleMania 20 with my best friend. And so I will not be opening this one. I will be keeping this one mint on card, finding a nice place, prominent place to display it. Not the greatest figure ever, but it does represent something very important to me. So I'm very excited to add this to the collection. All right. We do, well, I already pulled this out. I've got a couple other figures in here, but here's some of the surprises that Steven likes to include. And I did see the label on here as I picked it up. So it's not a full surprise to me, but I'm going to let it surprise all of you out there watching in this little white bag. Oh my. This is the Sable Bomb Beanie Baby style teddy bear. There you see Sable right there, hanging off the ear. Attitude bears, as they're called. And you can look at that text right there. You can look, but you can't touch, because if you do, Sable will surely kick some bleep. January 1999. Don't know why we needed that on there, but Travis and I have been joking about this recently. You know, obviously represent fully loaded 1998, hands on for Sable right there. Such weird items. I know there's a Taker bear, DX bears, Rock and Stone Cold bears, but like, you know, just kind of capitalizing on the Beanie Baby trend, even though it's a little late in 1999 to be capitalizing on that. Gotta check out the back. Hands down, the winner of that bikini contest. She absolutely was. And boy, what a moment in wrestling fandom that was for 12-year-old Alex. That's a fact. So looking forward to representing that on my collection. That'll go on the miscellaneous shelf. Thanks, Stephen, for that. I know you were excited to get rid of this from your collection, but hey, I love it. I'll take it. All right, another figure, and man, I had told Stephen I was gonna pass on this one. I originally said when he sent me the pictures of it, I did kind of want this one, but I ended up passing on it, but he threw it in anyway. So Stephen, just a heck of a guy. This is the House of Pain Undertaker figure. Just one of, I think personally, the best representations of 2001 Undertaker, the Biker Taker. Is it the first one? Steven would definitely know that. I'm not positive. It's got to be one of the first ones. It's actually, it's even Tron ready on here. Comes with a giant barbell for some reason. But, you know, weightlifting bar. And I'm sure Taker was definitely squatting that, you know, back in the day, 100%. But, man, incredible likeness. I love the gear. This is really like, you know, Judgment Day 2000 when he rolls out there on the bike for the first time. I think they just nailed it here. I'm not sure Mattel has even ever done a Biker Taker from that era that really nails the likeness and the look and the gear as well as this one does. This is the House of Pain series. Look at that beautiful $7.99 KB Toys price tag on there. That brings you back nostalgia-wise. I mean, this one is minty fresh. Not sure if I will open this one up or just keep it mint on card like this because it's such a cool figure. I will probably unbox it at some point, but I do kind of love that price tag on there. That makes me want to keep it on there. But very cool item. I think, like I said, one of the best representations, not just for the era, but honestly of all time, of this edition of Undertaker. And then another one that I definitely requested from Stephen, one that's again been on my eBay searches for a long time. I've talked about it on here before. I love miniature Undertaker figures. I think they're really fun to collect. I'm by no means a completist, but anytime I find some, I do try to pick them up. And this is the Jakks Microaggression series. Very similar to something they did probably 10 years before this, 7, 8 years before this in the Attitude Era. Had a lot of those miniature figures. These are kind of about the same size, same scale. Honestly, maybe even a little bit smaller than those. They're even smaller than I realized. I never actually have seen them in real life, only seen them on eBay. They're pretty dang tiny. But another cool reason why I wanted this particular one, Undertaker's been released different ways in these microaggressions. He's paired with different guys. A lot of these microaggression 3-packs, it's just so random, the guys that they put together. Maybe 2 guys that make sense and 1 guy that doesn't make a sense at all. But this one's cool because it comes with Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Funny enough, they did have some interactions with Undertaker as the as the Edgeheads. But this is really them post-Edgeheads. When they broke off from Edge and when they won the tag team titles for the first time. So it's interesting that they paired them all together. But I've always been a big fan of both these guys. And, of course, I've been a huge fan, day one listener of the Major Wrestling Figure podcast with Matt and Brian. I've never missed an episode. Subscribe to their Patreon. So I really wanted to add this to my collection. Thought it'd be cool to display. And then there's side characters. Never had a pay-per-view match with Undertaker, but definitely had a lot of interaction with him. And I will definitely be opening these up. I've got a whole display of like mini takers and things like that, mini figures. So this will go in there with them. This is really cool. And again, Stephen cut me a PSK brother deal on that. So appreciate that, Stephen. All right, and now to the final bit of goodies in here, the mystery items. This is really cool. It kind of goes with the mini figures that I like to collect. I will always pick up an Undertaker Hot Wheels or miniature car anytime I see anything like that. Look at that there. Mint in the package. The 1/64th scale die cast, originally $5.99. You see some of the detail there on that Undertaker car. Very cool here. I'll probably just keep this one mint on the card too. I've got another one similar. It's not the exact same one, but similar packaging. But it comes with a really cool stand there with some, bio information on Undertaker. Of course, purple, that classic Undertaker logo. There's the back of it. Some of the other cars you see, New Age Outlaws, Stone Cold, Mankind, The Rock. Everybody was running hot back then. Very cool item. And then this one's loose, another one. I mean, there's countless. If you search on eBay, there's countless of these Undertaker Hot Wheels miniature car type things. This was sort of like a funny car, I guess. You can tell a little longer body on there. But man, this is awesome. The detail on there. I'm sure this really existed because it's got a race car driver's name on there. It says Jerry Tolliver. So I'm sure there's some, actual footage of this being out on the racetrack. But look, it's got Undertaker's face there on the side, his eyes leering out on there. Ooh, rest in peace on the back. I mean, how cool is that? This thing's flying down the track and you're behind it and you just got to stare at rest in peace on the back of that. That's some next level intimidation right there. And I guess this little tombstone, I don't know if it goes with that or if Stephen just threw that in, but man, this is awesome. The Phenom. Very cool. A lot of detail on that. Love that. And last but not least, you can see my old buddy, the Wubble Rumbler, back here. Is often in the background of my videos. Got a great video unboxing that. Stephen passed on something else inflatable. What could this be? I've got an idea. Oh, yeah. This is an Undertaker inflatable sledgehammer. Look at this bad boy. Now this is probably something you would have won at your local fair or local carnival coming through town. And I remember like 98, 99 going to the fair in Augusta, and all the prize booths have all sorts of junk, and a lot of them had wrestling stuff. And so that's what I would always go for. I remember I got a couple of, I never won the big prizes, but I got like these little 8x10s and like a frame. I think I had one of Goldberg, one of Stone Cold or something. Who knows whatever happened to those. But this looks like something that would have been around the same era. Maybe it was in the actual WWF catalog. I don't know. But it's licensed. It's got the WWF logo on there. It's got the Undertaker logo. Hey, it says official licensed product right there. So there it is. And it is the Undertaker on a giant inflatable hammer. This bad boy is going to go right here. I might just put it in the Wubble Rumbler's arms right here. If you take a minute, if you let me have a minute right here, maybe I can blow it up here before the end of this video. Let's see. Let me pause it. That wasn't hard to do, actually. That was going to take a little bit more work. Didn't even need to pause it. But yeah, like I said, state fair item, maybe Six Flags or something like that. This might be up there if you're doing the Pop-A-Shot or the whatever it was, the Jacob's Ladder, where you climb up and the ladder spins over. But boom, Undertaker inflatable hammer. Hit your brother on the head with that. Hit your wife on the head with that. I would never do something like that. But Maybe should I take this to SummerSlam? Should I take this out in the crowd and try to get on TV with that? It's tempting. I don't know. But I think I will give it to the Wubble Rumbler right there and keep it on display right there. Incredible, Stephen. This, this is not what I paid you for, but I think this is worth the price alone right here. So everybody out there, be sure to check out the Collecting Dead Man podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to check out his YouTube channel for his many great watch-alongs that he does on his YouTube channel. So be sure to support Stephen and all he does. And be sure you subscribe right here to the Talking Taker YouTube channel. Got more great videos coming up for you, including the big SummerSlam 2023 vlog. So much content, such a great trip we are looking forward to. So many things planned. I don't know. It may have to be broken up into multiple videos. I'm not even sure yet how it's all going to work out. But the best way to find out is to be sure you're subscribed right here. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to check out our latest episode of Talking Taker, where my co-host Travis White and I, where we break down or watch along the main event of SummerSlam 2008 for the 15-year anniversary of it. One of our top 20 all-time Undertaker matches. Plus, we answer some Q&A from all you out there in the PSK. So please do subscribe as we continue to grow our content, grow our audience, and be on the lookout for more great videos coming soon. And as always, take her easy.